Welcome back. Time to check in with Global Policy and Regulation Managing Editor Nick Day, who is also the editor of CoinDesk's State of Crypto newsletter. Welcome, Nick.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Nick. So I am sure you are tired of us asking you about the infrastructure bill, but we're just going to double down on it. So what's happening with the infrastructure bill? And are there any latest updates this week now that it is going through Congress?
Yeah, no, we're kind of still waiting to see if anything changes, but so far the status quo does seem to be that Congress will not move to amend it at all before they vote on it by the end of September. And if so, then that means the broadest version of the provision that we've seen, which the industry has pushed back on, will be signed into law by the end of the year.
So let's move away from the infrastructure bill for once here, Nick, and look at something else on our horizon. Tomorrow, of course, Jerome Powell, chair of the Federal Reserve, I think, is giving his speech as part of the Jackson Hole, once again, virtual symposium. Always a very big event in the central banking world. How important is that for basically the broad outlook for crypto? And I suppose I'd also interested to think of whether we're expecting to see anything come from other central bankers with regards to, crypto and digital currencies during that event.
Yeah, Jackson Hole, I think, we've seen in the past some pretty high level musings around crypto. A couple years ago, I think it was 2019, we saw the Bank of England suggest a stablecoin backed by numerous different countries and assets. So we could see that. I think if we do, it'll be pretty high level, kind of hypothetical rather than anything concrete. But as far as Jerome Powell is concerned, I think everyone's kind of just looking to him to see if he has any comments or thoughts on what they've been describing as transitory inflation for the next over the next coming months, and whether or not the Fed's going to start either tapering or changing how it's approaching these issues. As far as the inflation argument is concerned within the crypto community.
Nick, anything else on your radar over the next couple of weeks now that some of these big dramas seem to be dying down a little bit?
Yeah, I think there's two big themes I'm keeping an eye out for. So one is the ETF race. It kind of, for a while there, it looked like we wouldn't get any ETFs at all in the crypto world in 2021. But we're seeing, with Jerry Gensler's recent remarks, we're starting to see more and more applications around Bitcoin futures ETFs. And there's kind of this increased expectation that one might actually be approved this year. And of course, it remains to be seen, whether or not the market is in a place where the SEC is comfortable with it. They've had concerns about surveillance sharing agreements and market manipulation in the past. So maybe futures are something they'll see as more tightly regulated, more closely surveilled, and therefore worthy of an ETF. I think, there's still no guarantee it's happening, but there's been I think a ramping up of expectations that it's more possible now than we thought 3 months ago. And then the other side is, we've talked a lot about various investigations by the U.S. government. I think we're getting close to a point where we're going to start seeing whether or not these investigations are bearing fruit and whether or not they're going to start bringing charges against various companies in this space.